Let's get on with the operational management. We have uh, done the clinical services, and we are in support services these days. Right? We did a little bit of administration. It will be repeated once every module as you go on. We did facility management, and then we are in supply chain management. Now, next week you will have equipment. A biomedical engineer will give you a session like today, morning session. He will take you through many equipment just to get a brief on that. And then today let's work on supply chain management. If you look at supply chain management, you should know the basics of supply chain management, right? Um, I think Mr. Malik must have given you an introduction. From I think week next week or week after onwards, you will have a basic say about there will be 3 sessions on supply chain management. Right? So what I am going to do is bit further. Once you do the supply chain management, you should know how to manage drugs and devices. Specify this supply chain management is a basic thing in anywhere else, like other program. For example, human resource. There's a part that HR should know technically. Similarly, supply chain also everywhere they use a supply chain. So what I'm going to do is to talk more on what is related to healthcare. That's what I'm going to do today. So I'll try to cover um, as much as possible just to get through to this. There'll be in supply chain management. There'll be many presentations will be done by the uh, respective lecturers. But if you, I have managed to get some videos. If you have time, one will take about possibly about 8 minutes per. Starting from here, module 1, 2, 3. It's a series of supply chain management. This is good for amateur just starting. Ideal to go through it. Then you get a key concepts will be there, right? And parallel there are some innovations in supply chain and also value chain. How you difference between the value chain and the supply chain, and healthcare supply chain, future of supply chain. I just kept there, for you to just go through, right? More and more handouts will be given. So let's go into the main topic today, right? Here, if you just to give you a brief on this, there are enough stuff for you to read. Manual management of drugs. This is a Sri Lankan Ministry of Health. A small book, but excellent book, right? 115 pages, but it gives you a overall view. I mean, looking at this, you can manage basically your pharmacy department. Soft copy is there. You can there we go. So anyway, slowly go through that. Right? It gives you and how to organize a policy on drug management in one of the countries. Let me see what that is. Yeah, it's a health department one, about 18 pages. Drug management policy at a ministry level, right? This will give you how to distribute drugs, right? Pharmaceutical preparation, how to distribute. Distribution is a big element. Maintaining cold chain, etc., etc. Everything is given here. Just go through it slowly. Right? You have time. There's a lot of reading. Yeah, quality control, how to maintain quality of pharmaceutical drugs, right? Quality assurance. So essential list of medicines, all that is there. and good storage practices. This is a very good document, right? How you manage drugs. I'll just give you a brief on few things. Again, another quality assurance and prescribing practices. These are also very important. This is a 9-page document. Right, principles of prescribing, all that is important. Downloaded one again. Dispensing, how to dispense, dispensing practices. It's also there. You will. I'll give you a brief on what it is. 17-page document. Dispensing policies, dangerous drugs and medical ordinance in Sri Lanka. You can just have a look at it. How to control drugs. Rising cost of inpatient care and expenditure on medical devices in USA. These are few good articles. Just had a glance at it. Take the best ones out of it. So these are the presentation I am going to do today. And here also you have same. I have put it there as well. We can cut it over as we go on. I'll play one or two, right, regarding the healthcare. Okay. Let's start with this. Okay. What do you know about supply chain? Now you had a lecture. What is supply chain? It's a process, yes. 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 Okay. Okay. And any definition always ends up in what? Any definition ends up in what? To achieve the organization goals and objectives. So goals and objectives should be efficient. And it's efficient and should be effective. Cost, time, HR, all that. Effectiveness. Okay, effectiveness is that. Good for drugs. Let's look at it. That is it. Okay. Let's look at the process. What is the process? Very basic process. I mean, you will learn more from the gurus of supply chain management. So I'll just give you a brief on what it is. So basically, if you look at it, you have to plan, then you have to purchase, store, distribute, prescribe, and dispense. These are the few processes, steps, main functional steps. Functionality. Planning is a big one, That's why you will have more time. You get involved in planning as a medical administrator. Rest, of course, purchasing, yes, some extent, but planning is your baby. Your planning is your baby. Planning is your base. Purchase, yeah. Storing, stores managers and the others. Distribution, once you store, again the stores managers, pharmacists and all that. Prescription, only the doctors will get involved. Right? Dispensing involves nurses and outpatients and the other areas, pharmacists. So a lot of people are involved by the pharmacist. Here, if you look at the medical administrator's role, his main role is here. And also they would look at whether this is done properly, and of course the dispensing. And they will also look at this, very important. This is a very tricky area which you have to get involved, but at arm's length as much as possible. Pass the ball into somebody else, so you are. So let's look at it. So if you look at, there are different definitions, but we also picked something here: acquisition, shipping, receiving, evaluation, warehousing, distribution of goods and supply and equipment. Right? To supply day-to-day material to the patients and staff in clinical as well as support service department. So it's a supply day-to-day material to patients and staff in clinical as well as support services, other services, not only clinical. Right? So these are different way of looking at it. Right? So we also covered some. What are the items? Pharmaceuticals, surgicals. Pharmaceuticals are the drugs and injection. What are surgical? Surgical gloves, yeah, consumables, isn't it? Surgical stuff, equipment. I haven't put equipment here. I am going to do it separately. So let's focus on surgical items, linen, all that, and then the consumables, IV drapes, cannulas, blah blah blah, and protective and protective items. So linen, equipment and accessories. So mainly, I will not concentrate on this, but accessories might come and goes in hand with this. So other materials, M&E, civil materials for maintenance, even the gasoline, diesel, oil, everything you need, from that to the detergent, soap and all that. Office equipment, catering items, housekeeping material. What do you mean by service? Yeah, so it goes under the support services separately as outsourced services. Here we will concentrate on mainly the purchase, goods, actually tangible goods. Printing and stationery, big one. We do a lot of stuff. So importance of supply chain management in UH 365 days. That's obvious thing. And life saving and critical stuff. The quality is a big issue. Unlike the other thing, you can't take a chance on this. Cost, yes, but you have to balance between the quality and cost. If you get a poor quality drugs, patient will stay longer. He will not get cured. It's a vicious cycle. Either he will come back to you, he will go and tell, don't go there, it's a useless thing. It hits you. So you have to balance it. If you charge high cost, some might like it because they wanted to go home early, and others might not like it because there won't be home for them to go. Right? They have to sell everything to pay the bill. So that's how it is. And look at shortages. Are you going to? You can't have drugs, overstock drugs. You have to have no shortages. But parallelly, if you keep more, it will get expired. So it's a nice balancing act you need. So wastages, and proper storage is important, right? Pilferage, people take it out, all, or maybe malfunctioning of equipments, that also comes under this. No? So how will you balance this? Now these are big variables. It's a nice question, no, to ask from your in an exam. How will you manage this variable? Discuss. After this module, you should be able to discuss, looking at your knowledge, looking at the experience, looking at the case scenarios. Right? How will you manage this? By using these variables, how will you manage these variables? What is a nice model? How can you build up a model? Is there a model? If you buy good quality drug, cost will go high. If you go low quality drug, cost will be low, but the outcome will not be there. You might treat and send the patient output, but outcome is not achieved. If you store more, there is a possibility to expiry, there is a stock holding cost, inventory or the holding cost. Yeah, stock holding area, it's expensive. Wastage also. And there's more things people feel like many try to feel when there's more abundance. Yes. The controls are two-edged sword. Two-edged sword control. Right? That's how you have to discuss. Two-edged sword. If you stock more, go to the other side. If you stock less, my God, there will be a problem. Because the worst case scenario is if you can't have a situation where you don't have drugs. Because patient life is the most primary thing. Parallelly, you should look at the other areas to cut it down. So there are manual controls and IT based controls. There are beautiful systems. And if you go, I'll try to get a system for you to have a look. For hospital, it's a very complicated thing, but they have developed device super models to control this, reduce the risks. It's a massive risk, no? In terms of the risk of planning, when we plan things, it's a risk, no? So how will you minimize these risks? Practical application and control. How will you this nice plan put into practice? You do everything, suddenly a new now the rep would come and meet the doctor, and he'll start writing the total different drug now. You are stocking here now. What's the scenario now? Not a problem. So how will you control this? Now at if you look at the process level, control and managing are two different words you have to use very carefully, especially with doctors, health professionals. Minute you say control, they look at you. What? You want to control me? Thank you. I'm going. And there's another person waiting to pull me out. Managing? I'm here to manage your stuff. That would be a better word to use. So you have to be very careful, because only handful of people might not be so ethical. So, but others could be in between. You just push them, they go to the other side. So you should make sure that everything is done on a uttermost ethical way. So there should be no room in a hospital to have a second level of business going on. There's only one business. It's a medical business. Right? If the consultants want to charge, let them charge from their consultancy. What they do in their intervention, not subsidiary things. Support services, subsidiary things are for the hospital revenue. They shouldn't have any hand in the, or unforeseen hands shouldn't come in. So it should be a level field. Try your level best to have a level field in this. It's a difficult thing. You see, the Minister of Health has been grumbling for the last so many years to do things. I saw some earlier not good statements for medical administration. What he has told several for the last few weeks. We have been talking about many things, good things, good for the industry, but how you perceive these things are different. The cost of control. What is the cost of the control? Now, I will tell you a good example. One hospital that I work in the private sector, now they want to have a stringent control. You should have a control. Now, initially when I was there with the other group, we planned to have the basic stock in the ward. Anywhere in the world, you have to have a stock in the ward. You never know when you need the drugs. There's no proper demand in this. You can have a baseline, but till suddenly you have dengue patients, you have MI patients. Sometimes it's like epidemic, Some days you get stroke patients. Suddenly your infusions goes off. You have to run to this thing, and it will be middle of the night, nobody is around. You have to have a stock. Now, after I left that particular hospital, they have so lot of financial controls came into medical care. That's good, provided you don't disturb the patient care process. So they have removed all the stocks from wards. When a patient comes, the nurse has to order online. Then a nurse has to go to the pharmacy and pick that particular drug pack and come. It may be 2 Panadols and that kind of a thing. Day stock they have to bring it from there. Fine. If you have abundance of nurses, fine. Just look at the cost of a nurse doing all this, going there, waiting for such a long time, picking those drugs and come, versus the control. And the risk. One nurse is not there, another patient comes, all the nurses are in the pharmacy. That's what I heard. Only the in charge is in there. So there have been a lot of things has happened. I think they revert it, I don't know. So be mindful, be very practical. That's very important when you go into it. And efficiency, of course. We spoke about effectiveness. Very important 2 words. It has to be efficient. There's no 2 words. You can order a big stock of drugs and it has not been delivered to you. This thing useless. Maybe a costly drug. Similarly, drugs are there, it's not working. So it's a nice challenge. One biggest challenge, you have to attend to your 20% of your time in a case like that's a good study to do. Daily, the challenges faced by medical administrators. How they allocate their time and what are the times that they use at the moment and what is the ideal thing. It's a good research topic. What is the ideal thing in Sri Lanka? Like Dr. Kumar and all that, Vikram Singh, they are on the hot seats, His hospital, of course, only doing gyn and obs, but some hospitals, it's a maternity hospital, but there are hospitals in the general hospital, you should realize how much time you spend on what. Is it ideal and what you can do? What are the things you can automate? It's a good study to do. So, of course, the functions would be material planning, programming, purchasing, inventory control, right? Stock keeping and warehousing, codification, coding these things, standardization and evaluation of all products one by one, transportation, inspection and quality control, cost reduction through value analysis, disposal of surplus. That's one big area, disposing this material or chemicals, and then distribution. Those are the things. So let's look at the planning and forecasting. Right? What we do is generally based on future medical service planning. You have to really look at what's next year's plan. Now, traditionally we have been doing yesterday's, yeah, based on that at the end of the day you do that, but it's very bad. That means a very bad management. Any donkey can do that? No. You need not to have a medical administrator or a pharmacist to do that? No. It's a inflation, okay, demand. You increase by 10% or 20%. It doesn't make any sense. Then epidemiology, demography and leverage for disasters. Look at the epidemiological. How many people are coming now? More and more cardiac cases are coming. More and more diabetes are coming. So you have to really look at the epidemiological data. And demography, more aging population, more aged people. So diseases with cancer, age, musculoskeletal, CVAs, those are the things. So look at all those. Right? Past experience is important, how it has been, what has happened before, right? And look at the R&Ds, look at the development of new drugs coming into the market. I mean, you can't say it's expensive and we are not going to give it to you. I mean, who the hell are we to make a decision on behalf of the patient? I mean, you should have to have the option. I mean, you can't have it's costly and all that. No, accessibility. Very simple. I want to get my mother's cataract done. He is on a pacemaker, and I called Dr. Hasanti and just went there 3 days before, 4 days ago. Met the doctor, 10 minutes. Everything pack was given. Went to vision care, got the pack. Another 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Everything was given. Started the drop. 2 days. Third day morning went. 5 minutes cataract. But my mother wanted to stay there for a while. She didn't want to come up and down. 3 o'clock she was discharged. Home. 55,000 bucks. I mean, I can remember my father, that was about 20 years ago, 20, 25, 30 years ago I think. He did his first cataract. A Japanese group came at the eye bank. So at that time they charged 100,000 rupees per eye at that time. It took about 1 hour, more than 1 hour per eye. They kept him for 5 days. And after 5 days they line up everyone and then open, dang and all that. And the Japanese guy would, doctor would, like a big, about 100 patients, about 50 like. They all, wave Japanese flags and all that, then they come. See the difference now after 5 minutes job. You're prepared. If you have that, I mean, what is 55,000 bucks? Nothing. I mean, anybody, for eye, no, I mean, anybody for eye will spend that money. That makes a huge difference in the personal life. If you go to USA, it's about maybe about $5,000, maybe more than that, more than $5,000 to get eye cataract. So we have 1/3 of the cost. So you should allow them to have options, in a hospital. It's nice to see that when you see the doctor, he would give you, basically you have this lens for this, and the best lens is this. You go for the best lens. Difference is about 5,000 rupees. You can't take a chance on vision, So you go for the best, So this generic thing and all that for the government sector, fine. For the private sector, they should have the option. When it's done in the government sector, you will buy the best lens outside. You go and get it done. People do that. So this is a ball game. Patents issues, look at those. New consultants and their knowledge. They have a better knowledge. They know what's coming. And mind you, Sri Lanka is totally different to subcontinent. Right? Immediately you see this. We buy the latest stuff. They might not eat, they might not have the 3 meals, but they would have the latest mobile with them, the latest car with them. They don't have money at home on debt, but still they buy the latest Benz, So we are different to India and the subcontinent. Go to India, they will not eat, they will not do anything, they collect gold. Right? There's different cultures. And you guys they want savings, but it's not a big problem in Sri Lanka. You don't have money, you don't die of a hunger. So, see the different cultures. So therefore, you have to be a bit careful when you make decisions. And we will talk about more on health economics. Right? National treatment regimes, please adhere to that. I mean, if there's a problem in a hospital, they would definitely, if you go to courts, they would ask, is there a national? If you don't have national, is there international? Then did you all were taught this or this? What are the regulations? So always better to stand back on manual of management of drugs. Right? That's the bottom line. You have to have basic minimum requirement given the referral system. So I mean, because we don't have a referral system, people move from one hospital to another. You may be having you might have to have the better spread of stuff. Now in other countries, because of the referral system, you can really demarcate the amount of patients you are coming in different categories. For us, it's very difficult to demarcate. Suddenly, you would say, I mean, you can manage medically this myocardial infarction, heart attack. Suddenly, one guy who said, oh, I thought you have stenting. You don't have stenting. You know, oh, you don't have that even. So, see the model that we started about 8 years ago, that was a general hospital, but no cardiac. But without cardiac, you can't do anything because all it's changing. Whole technology is changing. It has changed the hands of doctors. A medical doctor, medical consultant would never wear a theatre cap and a gown. Now they are always trying to put things into you rather than giving drugs. Interventions are more. So the interventional cardiologist, interventional neurologist, interventional radiologist. It's changing. And newly planned services for the future. Please be mindful when you try to do the planning. Purchase based on the needs assessment. Needs, to be needs assessment. So these are the objectives. Get the right quality, balance your quality. I'll talk about it a little bit more on right quantity, right price, right cost. Now, Health Minister is saying he has gone through certain things. He has said some, I think the devices maybe, some have given to 2,500. Same company, for the same hospital health system, he has given for 10,000. It has gone up to 22,000 sometimes. They have given devices. I saw it in the paper yesterday. They are inquiring why did you do it. Somebody is pulling some strings now because they want to control health now. That's why they put a non-medical person as a health secretary. From the treasury they put. So things are going to get tougher. Good for the system. Balance it. Right time and to the right place. You need the right time. You should supply to the CCU drugs to neurology units, So this is very important. And centralize the purchasing system. Very important. Don't allow these small units to buy. Try your level best. No, centralize. Why? Because the cost is less if you buy in bulk and and then the risks are less, and you have a better bargaining power. To backup of a good systems management, because each system should function differently. Maybe OPD, maybe in ward. It's very important to manage it. As an administrator, look at holistically. Take unit wise, but at the end of the day, look at holistically. You need to have a very good backup. Right. Let's look at the right source. There are suppliers catalog. I don't know whether we have one in Sri Lanka. But the CDD, they must be having suppliers catalog. No. Yeah, I know, but do we have a supplier's catalog in Sri Lanka? They are still doing. We don't have at the moment. College of this pharmacist and all that. What is this? What is your one? Pharmaceutical. Not necessarily. Your pharmaceutical companies, you have a. They don't have a catalog. Yeah, I know, but is there a thing to buy now? I'm going to put up a hospital. I want to know who are the suppliers. Where can I get it? Yeah. Yeah. Now, where is it? Now, Bowers, Hemas, all are in one page. One. Is there one book that we can go for? Isn't it? I mean, don't you think it's silly not to have one? You should have one, isn't it? I know it changes. The drug changes, but change could be can be drastically changed, no? But your product range you don't change drastically, no? Yeah, some are common. Yeah, yeah, but you have to have a form. I'm not talking about the formulary. I'm talking about the suppliers list. But I want to buy a amoxicillin, augmentin from. I know it's from Glaxo. I can buy. What's the other product? I should have. I mean, that should be done by the CDD. I should tell the man to look into this. So annually you can update, no? At least a website should be there, no? So that's important. Then print media, trade directories, trade journals, newspapers, yellow pages, right? Salesperson, right? Salespersons can. There are many advantages from the reps and the others because you can get a first-hand information from them. It's a very positive resource rather than you go behind. Just a matter of few calls, boom, the country manager, everyone will come and sit in front of your table. It's a very good service. Trade exhibitions, fairs, conferences, right? Colleges in similar field, you can ask from the colleges, and of course the internet. So very important. Negotiation very possible. There are huge margins. Right? You can pass on to patients without a problem, but you can make a buck, quick buck from these, but very short lasting. It won't long last. It won't last long. Time periods are limited because it affects the system. It comes back to the system and hits the system, then there's stagnation. Now, we are in a big time bomb in Sri Lankan health sector, big time bomb. I say, I throw a hand grenade anyhow, we are sitting on it. We are sitting on it. Big time bomb. Massive challenges coming up for the suppliers, for the hospitals, for the regulators. I would blame on the regulators. Regulators have to put up the system. When you do the health system, you will learn more. In health system, the regulator's role is to regulate, make policies, and they should make there's a fair field level. Fair level. There should be a fairness in the level playing field. Level. You can't. A big company comes and put a lot of money and Shouldn't allow that to happen. But there may be a small company doing a good job. So there should be a level playing field. It's not the big guy, small guy. It should be a quality guy. So there's regulator has to regulate the market. Regulator has to regulate the market. But private sector has been drastically improved. They have organized packages. The government sector haven't even thought about it. They are in tug of war with internal conflicts orchestrated by the incompetent medical administrators. They are passing the ball to the other one, then they fight for the ball. So they are onto a side. It's high time the Politico should control this. The minute the Politico controls it, it becomes a political affair. So again, it's not a level playing field. So the issue is in Sri Lanka, countries like Sri Lanka, regulator also a competitor. Regulator also provides services. Now, I will put up a cardiac unit, cardiac thoracic unit, let's say, with the bank loans, paying taxes, all that. And suddenly, the government thinks, now this is a good area to get in. They are starting doing it free. So you kill the industry by doing it. You kill the industry because when you learn economics, you would say it should be a balanced economy. There should be a balance, level playing field for everyone. Now, when government does it, it's going to be a big problem. Then what will happen is that government can't cater for all, no. They will cater for few. Then again, imbalance will drive down to the private sector. You kill the industry. So now, if the government policy is to promote private sector expansion because they can't, so you give them. You have to have a balanced field. You shouldn't have a hospital coming up free, state of the art. Who's paying that? The same guys. Consumers are paying it anyway. So this is very important, regulators' role. So whatever you can pass on to patients, then not at the cost of the quality. Right? Win-win situation for all. Very important. And maintain relationships with everyone. I mean, you need not to have special relationships with special suppliers. So next year the other person should be able to bid for you, and if they give a better one, it's good for you. Otherwise there is a monopoly creation. Right? Monopoly is created. Monopoly. When it's very, very restricted, it's called oligopoly. Very, very restricted. Very few, one or two guys in the industry. So they very difficult to manage a industry like that. So this is a game. This is a game you have to play. You will be a deal or no deal. It's a buyer and the seller. There are ethics that follow. There are objectives of the organization. This is a very important thing in negotiation of with drug suppliers. Okay. Anything to add here? Anything to add? Yeah. Yeah, probably it might come here. Huh? Yeah, quality cost. අනුක මේ බණ්ඩාර කියන මට මේ වතුර එකක් ගේන්න කියලා බලන්න. Must be here. Buyers. Now I don't know whether I showed you. I did a small calculation on between two hospitals, few hospitals. The Sri Jawaharlal General Hospital versus a Kandy Hospital. Okay. If you look at the per bed cost, for drugs, what do you think? Per bed cost per year, or to apples and oranges. So I wanted to put it into one and tell me. What do you think? Huh? What do you think? Which is expensive, which is cheaper? Say by, huh? Candy may be expensive, huh? Just look at this. Give me a second. Yeah. This is Sri Jawaharlal Hospital, huh? Okay. Look at your supplies. This is Sri Jawaharlal Hospital and Kandy Hospital. So what I did was I did a per bed rate different 500,000, 113,000. Sri Jawaharlal spent 529,000, 5 lakhs versus 1 lakh in Kandy Hospital. How would you 5 times? 5 times. Jawaharlal is, what do you think? Yeah, tell me. You tell me. No, per bed, for utilization wise, no. Both are utilized. Okay. No, this is a purchase price. This is not the given to the patient. Hospital cost. Huh? It's fine. Okay, let's talk about 500,000 versus 100,000. Let's say. Tell me, what are the reasons? One thing is you are saying wastage. Is the cost of drugs. Huh? What else? You said something. What else? Think now. Yeah, it's a semi-government. Huh? So because of that, they can spend a lot. Is it? Right. Okay, good. Semi-government. Ah, so they don't have discount. Huh? Less demand. Okay. It makes sense, no? Less demand, less bulky. Yeah. So you can't ask for a discount. I mean, small quantity. I was just wondering. Yes. Ah. Yes. More influencer. So therefore, may not be ethical. Question mark ethical. This is also question mark ethical, but less can manage. Okay. Will it reduce the cost of purchase per year? So wastage again. These guys are not proper management. So supply chain management. Huh? Yeah, but this is so this kind of a scenario. So you should be able to think, go outside and think with the. That's the important thing. That's what makes the proper administrator. Open mind, think in different options, and try to give a solution accordingly. So this is a good thing. I'm going to write to them. This is I just go overall. Like, I think they are buying on their own, but it's by on tender. But they are buying on their own. Because if it's semi-government, I would definitely ask the MSD to supply. No, MSD is getting massive quantities. I mean, obviously, 5 times. It doesn't make bloody sense to pay the. Come on, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, so I've actually the current hospital also. I've told them. They looked at it. Sure. Then they got all the documents and they verified. What is happening? It's gone to the top now. Gone to the top. I don't want to go to top. I'm just at this level is okay for me. But generally in Sri Lanka, if you find something, there are a lot of people to go and say, I did it. So let them go and do that. They are doing it. Recently, the hospital that I'm working with, uh, I can't. So it was called as teaching hospital. Okay, right? So I said this might uh, send the patients away. We talk about the military thing. Right? So I told them to use UH, University Hospital. Keep so they generally write this. So this might not really, and you have those quads and all that and everything in a hospital doesn't make any sense. So I'm in the process of doing the new logo. So I told them to keep this silent, but use this. Put it as, don't explain that, but put it as U is coming, but doesn't matter again. So people would look at this. I explain it in a discussion. I have the minutes also. 1 month later, somebody got the approval for that and said he did it. He proposed this. Somebody else has already taken the. Doesn't matter. I mean, as long as if something goes wrong, he will catch you, not me. So in Sri Lanka, that's no problem. For me, of course, as far as I'm concerned, I just as a consultant and give them ideas, let them take it and run. So anyway, so let's look at it. This kind of a thing. Evaluations are very important. Don't just sit there. Government sector has enormous amount of information. If you have the right source, please compare. Lot of things we don't. This is a ridiculous thing. If I write to Treasury, they will catch the neck of these guys and ask, what are you doing? There may be a lot of nitty-gritties inside the amount that they buy, the drugs may be, the interventional stuff they buy may be expensive, maybe cardiac and all that. They also have cardiac. So, nice to look at what's happening. So, so these are the principles of negotiation with this. Not to purchase on the listed price, of course, he will say why. Negotiate the bulk price. Right? Always ask for discount. Price protection is important, and the credit. Ask for a lengthier credit. Receiving. When you receive, establish written protocols. Assign responsibilities for people. Right? Checking goods, quality, expiry date. Very important. All this. Cross check with the purchase order and the invoice. Generally, when you want, you try the purchase order, right? Then they come with the invoice. Compare with what you have order is supplied. Very important, right? Proper record in design. You will get all this. These people will describe proper record in designated. Should be designated, registered. Signature of receiver and delivery person. That also should be taken. And the periodic check. So these are basically material receipt register, date, serial number, supply, PO, purchase order, challan, number of the department, quantity received, quantity rejected, quantity accepted, all that. So these are basic ones. You will learn more regarding this. Then the inventory, stocks to ensure uninterrupted supply. Right? The idle resources which have future economic value. If you idle this stuff, I mean, it's enormous loss because you are holding your money there for nothing. Cushion between the estimated and actual demand material. Keep a cushion always, small cushion. I mean, for disasters, for unforeseen ventures. Your calculation may be wrong. Buffer stock. Okay. Inventory control. It should just be a system. What to order, when to order, how much to order, right? How much is stock. So this you will learn more technicality from these people. So these are basic one, optimal level of inventory, and first in, first out, system, first in, first out. That more thought expiry drugs should go out. Factors, utility, availability, demand, and cost. You will learn more of these. I'm not going to describe you. I just want to get into the more medical stuff. Quantity was cost categorization of item. It's called ABC analysis. They will tell you what it is. Right? I just put it there. So if you have 10% of the item giving 70% of the cost, right? There are items, 20% of the items or 20%, 70% of the items, but it will give you only 10% of the cost. But this is very important. Tell me an expensive drug. Cancer drug. Huge cost. anti-rabies, serum and blah blah blah. Very expensive, isn't it? Yes, yes. You have to balance. So there, a lot of experienced guys are needed. When you start a new hospital, even you need an experienced guys to come in. Yeah. Mm. Yes. Yes. Awesome. Oh. 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 Yeah. Mm-hmm. How this is the cost. Other one is the life saving quality. Importance. That's a very good idea. Life saving quality. There must be indices, no? If you don't have, you will die. On tablet too. Mm. This is the control card. You will get to know more of this, right? Um, the maximum level, right? Minimum level, reorder level. When it comes to reorder level, you order again. Right? Economic order quantity. What's the best order quantity you should have? Units, location. Okay. All these will be spelled out in as you go on. Categorization and codification, right? Time consuming but very helpful in the long run, right? Make stock taking very easier. You have codes for each code. You can have your own code. Your hospital can have a coding system based on your importance and all that. So help keeping track of movements of drugs. Design registered according to requirement and volume and turnover. Right? Requirement and the volume of turnover. I mean, best is to have a barcoding system nowadays. It's a very simple thing, you have to count and all that. Everything is scrutinized. Distribution from the store to the user. This is a big problem. I mean, most pathetic thing is sometimes you need the drug, patient dies, there's no drug in the ward, and it's in the stores. And that's the most pathetic thing. So distribution is very important. Complicated process, right item at the right time at the right place. Two methods. Requisition, as and when required. Right? As and when required, you can, expensive drugs maybe you can't keep it in the ward maybe, but you should, accessibility should be there when you need it. And then par level, periodic replenishing to a certain fixed level or the reorder level. Right? As and when you need, you can order, or when it goes down to maybe two vials, then you order another vial, that kind of thing. Computation makes life very easy. There are enough models. I'll try to get you a one to see. I haven't really gone through this. Have security against data tampering. This is very common in third world countries. They take about few vials, from this happen. They say when you go to a certain supermarket, make sure you take all the stuff and come out. It happened to me day before yesterday also. I bought few things and a bulb. Because and a bulb, because my bulb went off in my toilet, so it's a very important thing for me. I actually went to buy the bulb and bought several other things, unnecessary things. I used to have things. So when I came home, bulb was not given. It was billed. So I had to get the bedside. This is a huge process. In the evening, I generally have bath at night. So I had to get this wire fixed, and then the razor, there's a plug. I put the plug in and got the bedside lamp, got it there and fixed it. So unfortunately, I got this thing and I couldn't locate. I couldn't get back. So it happens all the time, I heard. So what they do is, in a bulk stores, so bulk is there. So once you get these things in, they keep it aside. Keep it aside, right? Okay, they keep it aside. and then what they do is they replace it with something else. So TV cameras are there. They just slowly keep it aside, and then they take it out. There's no problem with the invention. They do all the time. Most of some of the supermarkets. Be careful every time. Okay, good storage practices. Right? I have given a nice technical report. It would say how to store different levels, temperatures. Right? Some should kept below 0. Right? Some should keep between the 0 and 8. Others between 8 and 18 maybe, and then the room temperature. And everything should be with room temperature. Right? And below room temperature, you have to have air conditioner. Right? Whatever it is, nice to have air conditioner. That's the idea. So please go through this document. It says a lot of stuff, very technical stuff. Right? You need not to by heart all this, but common sense should be there with you. Good distribution practices, how to distribute is also there. It's all with you. Right? A good prescription. It's very important how to prescribe the quantity and the quality. The prescription is very important. I think somebody is doing one of the nursing student is doing a study on prescription. Hopefully you can get stuff. You can't get it from the doctors, so probably from the pharmacist or the other users who reading this. Good dispensing practices, very important, because once you get the drug, how to dispense it. How to dispense is very important. So are you going to substitute? Are you not going to substitute? What's the ethic on this dispensing? Equipment purchase, of course, we'll do it on another day. Let's do the medical equipment later once you go through the thing. I'll do the formulary. You know what formulary is? You know what the formulary is? Yeah? What is drug formulary? Okay, good. It's a list of drugs, isn't it? Right? Formulary is a list of drugs, isn't it? So it's a list of drugs. What else? Recommended drugs. What do you say? Sorry? Description. Why you have this? What's the objective of having formulary? Yeah? Standard and quality. What else? Ethics, balance, monitoring, to monitor, that's what you are saying, monitoring and reporting. Very important, isn't it? And these are most important. Make sure the proper standard is there. Let's look at it. To develop a list of drugs that are most useful, most useful. You don't put everything there in a formulary. Most useful to the patient care within the hospital. And streamline the range of drugs used, reduce the number of drugs used. And source for reference for the prescribers, as you say. If there's an investigation, if you want to look into what has happened, you have a source of reference. Source of reference. The quality desired outcome and quality patient care at affordable pricing. So you look at the controlling the, we miss it out, we actually control the cost. Cost and quality. And then reduce inventory and holding costs. So, yeah, obviously. And reduce the storage space needed. And reduce the chances of medication error. When you have more stuff, you are bound to create more problems. Risk is more. Right? Can remember those days, triple was on in a vial, triple on a brown color vial. Can remember brown color vial, triple injection, and morphine is also with that. So this Kadavata nursing home, it came for a vaccination, and this one put the morphine and gave half an hour, kid died. The nurse has given to the doctor. He has look at this medication errors. Let's look at it. The list of pharmaceutical products and preparation available in hospital, reviewed periodically, very important, annually, five monthly, or monitored by pharmacy manager and determine the need of the inclusion or deletion. So the pharmacy manager would look at to determine the need, inclusion and exclusion with the support of the drug review committee. Distributed to the medical staff and the nursing department, listed according to therapeutic class. Generic names are displayed. Other information like dosage forms, dosing guides, abbreviations, short forms, everything should be there in formula. Approved by the drug review committee, stocked by the pharmacy. Excuse me. Available for routine use. Non-drug formulary drugs are also there in the hospital. It is not reviewed by the drug review committee, right? Or denied inclusion into the formulary, not stocked by the pharmacy, not available for routine use. Doctors to send on a special request. This is what. Now, these are not in the formulary, but if you want to, doctors will have to request separately. So these are the criteria, very important. You all should know criteria for selection, the need, the efficacy of the drug, the risk of the drug, and the cost. Let's take one by one. Right? Need versus want. What you need and what they want. Very important to categorize these two. You really have to push it through what you want. Is it really needed? Efficacy in treating the patient's condition, so evidence based. What are the evidences? What are the researches which have been done? Very important. Right? Any substitute at this level, can you substitute with this? Anything cheaper, anything with a higher quality, any vested interest in the prescriber? Majority times, yes. Very important to have evidence-based medicine. Evidence-based medicine. Evidence-based. What are the evidence to say that I selected over this? is is it effective for treatment, this particular risks? What are the side effects and adverse reactions you can have? Can you use it in all the conditions? Can you use it with the other drugs, right, in tandem? What is the patient acceptability? It's a beautiful, expensive drug, but how was the patient acceptable? What is the ease of administration? Good drugs, of course, will always have a lesser side effects. Patients are acceptable because drugs are good. Easy, generally ease of administration there. And this is a tricky one. Generally, good drugs will have special requirements, isn't it? To maintain that quality, otherwise you can't maintain that quality. So you need special requirements, storage requirements. So generally we store in refrigerators, freezers, and cold rooms. So many hospitals are going for cold rooms. Do you all have a cold room? Go for cold room. That's cheaper person, and you have more space, and you can control the drug better rather than a freezer. First was the efficacy analysis called pharmacoeconomic study. Pharmacoeconomic study. First was the efficacy analysis. Relative cost within the same drug class. And cost to the hospital. And what is the acquisition cost? I mean, to get the tenders done, contact people, there's an acquisition cost. Right? Cost to the patient. Long term versus short term. So long term mission versus short term mission. These are tips for better management. Any addition must come with a deletion. Very difficult, but you should. The formulary is fixed. When I started Gaul, of course, at that time, Navaloka had about nearly 4,000 SKU. When I went to Gaul, it's a small hospital, they actually using 1,000, over 1,000, but they did not have drugs. The doctors are using just about. So I fixed it at 600. The other Vattala hospital I fixed at 1,000. Now it has gone beyond this. The 600 you can run that hospital, 50 bed hospital. Maybe 2,000 you should be able to run with a general hospital. You fix it, you sit on it. You go and sit on it. No, I'll take the responsibility. Where is go bizarre? I mean, now I heard it's about 8,000 in Avaloka. I don't know how much you all have. Must be about 5,000. But you have a better control. You all have better control. So top management knows the game. Avoid duplication from same drug class. Do not keep multiple strengths. And from range, try your level best to reduce the strength as much as possible. Right? Range of strengths. Right? Avoid drugs with a similar packaging. Very important. You make mistakes. Frequent drug utilization surveillance involved. You should know what is the stock now. Don't be afraid to say no. Very important as a manager. Always favor drugs with less bulky packaging. Right? So stability at room temperature. Right? There are no refrigeration is required. Less likelihood to break. Plastic plus glass. Possibility to break doses, break into two and give. If possible, that's great. I mean, you need not to have 500 and 250 both together. Multi-purpose, like lignocaine, local anesthesia was eye drops, that kind of patient-friendly packaging. Advisors and where you can store everything. So manager, the pyramid is a combined effort of a manager, pharmaceutical services, medical director, drug committee, and the prescriber. All this has to come into one. End result is a lean, compact, and robust drug formulation. That is the. So these are the things in a very simple manner. Tell me. That's a in supply chain you use this SKU. It's not the amoxicillin grade. It's amoxicillin A, B, C. Right? One is a one SKU. So, so this is this. There is another presentation. Yes. Yeah, yeah. Of course, of course. That's up to the drug review committee to, all these they have to have a sit down and do it. But once yeah, it's a policy. I mean, drug review. No, formulary is not a policy. Drug review policy, drug review, drug policy is there in the whole. That's a umbrella. No, part of that is a formulary. Drug policy may have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, but H may be a formulary. This is a controlling tool. Controlling tool. It's a very difficult thing. I know there's a hospital called Oasis. So this guy had a nice concept. So he wanted to prescribe all in generic, and all the doctors didn't come to that place. They went off, and he was a tough nut. He was my uncle anyway. We tried this level best to have a like American system. Some of the hospitals coming in couldn't do it with our. But if you road project is there, and, you have to manage the doctors in a subtle way without disturbing them. No? Try to see one.
biggest challenge for consumer goods manufacturers and retailers would be continuing to delight the shopper and the consumer. There have been restrictions on marijuana in a lot of countries that you just can't have any vehicles traveling at any time into in different areas in the city.
Regulatory issues, governmental influences, and let's say price changes in important things like oil prices. I think that we need to look for more sustainable ways to do not just transport, but to do the whole supply chain towards the consumer. Given the current energy crisis, given the need to still improve also customer satisfaction as well as supply chain performance. We know that there is more understanding of the environment, so it's not just the pure financials, it's also the fact that the consumer and the opinion of the world at large is changing. They do want to see better solutions and less waste.
We can't continue to operate with a supply chain that was developed, that evolved over many, many decades based on a historical way of delivering or manufacturing and delivering products. The world's changed, and we have to change our supply chains without it.
We need to be sure that we deliver to the time and we idea to provide better service than what we provide. So external factors mainly provide the need for change.
What our supply chain has today is we didn't have in the past access to information. And at the end of the day, our supply chain runs on information. So if you want to bring innovation to the supply chain, you need to start by thinking about the information that's available, how we can incorporate that to get the supply chain program, a more efficient supply chain, and just a better overall experience. Technologies like the electronic product code using RFID provide what we call actionable visibility. So it improves productivity by taking some of the human resources out of the supply network, and yet we have more accurate visibility to what's actually happening in the store. So visibility is a real breakthrough area
For us to really delight that consumer, goal and focus, ability to have to come together to use that data, turn that data into information, and drive changes in the work process and workflow at store level to really enable things like driving improvements in on-shelf availability and driving in-store execution.
There's the real innovation in how we work together, and information is essential to do that. So I think that side has been discussed in this report, particularly.
We have a duty of care to do as little damage as we possibly can to the environment and our operations, and by collaborating much more with retailers and other manufacturers, we can make our supply chain much more efficient and therefore significantly reduce our carbon footprint.
Historically, we have a manufacturer supply chain to manufacturer, a retailer supply chain to retailer. That's really unworkable today. That's just got inbuilt inefficiency. So by collaborating, by working together, not just manufacturers and retailers, but also our suppliers, our third-party suppliers, our logistics, our transportation people, by working together, we can create a far more efficient collaborative model. That's why collaboration is so important. Collaboration is really what we want to do.
No one enterprise controls the entire supply chain, so by definition, we need a collaborative environment if we want to make it improve.
There's only one solution to complexity. This is transparency and network.
We looked at the real big breaks that the industry could have, and their collaboration is essential.
Do we wait and react, or do we become more innovative, more collaborative, and drive the agenda?
We waited much too long because all these challenges are not new.
There's no question that we need to do it, but we need to continue to fast.
All the pressures on our industry today would really make this now the time. We really have